Laboratorium Ekonomi dan Kebijakan Pertanian. Kedua, Laboratorium Sosiologi Pedesaan dan Pemberdayaan Masyarakat. Ketiga, Laboratorium Komunikasi dan Penyuluhan Agribisnis. Keempat, Laboratorium Manajemen Keuangan dan Pemasaran Agribisnis. Dan kelima, Laboratorium Manajemen Produksi dan Operasi Agribisnis. Jurusan Sosial Ekonomi didukung oleh tenaga yang memiliki kualifikasi dan dedikasi yang tinggi untuk membangun sektor pertanian dan agribisnis nasional. Dengan kelima laboratorium tersebut dan dengan pengajar yang qualified, jurusan Sosial Ekonomi siap berperan aktif dalam menyelesaikan permasalahan-permasalahan sosial ekonomi pertanian di Indonesia dan bahkan di dunia. Alumni jurusan Sosial Ekonomi memiliki kompetensi yang mumpuni dalam bidang agribisnis. Mereka menjadi profesional di bidang agribisnis dari hulu sampai hilir. Alumni tersebar di industri input pertanian seperti industri pupuk, pestisida, dan alsintan, dan industri on-farm seperti industri produksi, industri budidaya pertanian, industri hilir seperti industri manufaktur, dan subsistem pendukung seperti perbankan, pembiayaan, dan lain-lain.
Assalamualaikum Pak Jarwo.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya lulusan program S1 Agribisnis Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya, di mana saya juga mendapatkan beasiswa S2 untuk program double degree yang saya tempuh 1 tahun di Brawijaya dan 1 tahun di NIUST Thailand. Setelah lulus, saya bekerja di salah satu perusahaan multinasional di mana saya mendapatkan kepercayaan untuk ditugaskan yang berlokasi di Switzerland selama 1 tahun. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai regional Asia. Terima kasih.
Proses belajar mengajar di jurusan Sosial Ekonomi didukung sepenuhnya dengan fasilitas belajar yang lengkap, kelas yang nyaman, smart class dengan fasilitas kelas standar internasional, dan fasilitas laboratorium untuk kegiatan praktikum mahasiswa. Banyak prestasi yang diraih oleh mahasiswa jurusan kami, baik nasional maupun internasional. Mereka mampu bersaing dengan mahasiswa dari seluruh dunia.
Saya Alona Fadila, selaku mahasiswa jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Pertanian, Prodi Agribisnis Angkatan 2017. Selama menjadi seorang mahasiswa, saya dapat belajar ilmu manajerial, dapat belajar ilmu operasi pertanian mulai hulu hingga hilir, dan hal tersebut menjadi bekal bagi masa depan saya. Selain aktif di akademik, saya juga aktif di organisasi dan beberapa kegiatan nasional maupun internasional. Prestasi terbaru saya adalah sebagai penerima beasiswa Cargill Global Scholars Program dan mendapatkan penghargaan Grand Award dalam kompetisi inovasi tingkat internasional. Hal tersebut membawa saya menjadi mahasiswa berprestasi utama Universitas Brawijaya tahun 2020.
Ayo bergabung bersama jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya untuk membangun sektor pertanian dan agribisnis nasional yang tangguh dan berkelanjutan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya. Saya Heri Toiba, Ketua Jurusan Sosial Ekonomi. Jurusan Sosial Ekonomi telah hadir lebih dari 40 tahun untuk membantu menyelesaikan berbagai permasalahan dalam pembangunan sektor pertanian nasional. Sustainable Development Goal saat ini menjadi rujukan utama dalam pembangunan global. Hal ini menjadi tantangan tersendiri bagi kami. Tahun 2050 diperkirakan penduduk bumi mencapai 7 miliar jiwa dan mereka semua membutuhkan pangan. Pastinya akan banyak persoalan sosial ekonomi yang muncul dan membutuhkan solusi. Kami menyusun kurikulum secara detail dari awal dan melibatkan para stakeholder. Hal ini kami lakukan untuk memastikan bahwa lulusan kami dapat diterima di dunia bisnis profesional dan industri sejak pertama mereka lulus. Kesejahteraan untuk mengakhiri kemiskinan, ketersediaan pangan untuk mengakhiri kelaparan, pendidikan untuk menjadikan masyarakat memiliki pola hidup yang sehat dan layak, pengelolaan agribisnis berkelanjutan, serta pengelolaan sumber daya alam berkelanjutan untuk menjaga ketersediaan dan kelestariannya, serta stabilitas perekonomian sektor pertanian untuk menjaga pertumbuhan ekonomi selalu positif menjadi fokus dalam setiap kurikulum yang kami susun. Kami menyiapkan mahasiswa serta lulusan yang memiliki kemampuan untuk menganalisis kebijakan ekonomi pertanian secara kritis, mampu menjadi penyuluh, pendamping, fasilitator, dan mampu memberdayakan masyarakat, mampu membangun sistem serta model agribisnis berkelanjutan, mampu menjadi social entrepreneur yang tangguh, mampu menjadi pelaku startup di bidang agribisnis yang tangguh. Terdapat 5 laboratorium di jurusan sosial ekonomi untuk mempersiapkan mahasiswa menjadi lulusan yang siap terjun ke dunia bisnis dan dunia kerja profesional. Pertama, Laboratorium Ekonomi dan Kebijakan Pertanian. Kedua, Laboratorium Sosiologi Pedesaan dan Pemberdayaan Masyarakat. Ketiga, Laboratorium Komunikasi dan Penyuluhan Agribisnis. Keempat, Laboratorium Manajemen Keuangan dan Pemasaran Agribisnis. Dan kelima, Laboratorium Manajemen Produksi dan Operasi Agribisnis. Jurusan sosial ekonomi didukung oleh tenaga pengajar yang memiliki kualifikasi dan dedikasi yang tinggi untuk membangun sektor pertanian dan agribisnis nasional. Dengan kelima laboratorium tersebut dan dengan pengajar yang qualified, jurusan sosial ekonomi siap berperan aktif dalam menyelesaikan permasalahan-permasalahan sosial ekonomi pertanian di Indonesia dan bahkan di dunia. Alumni jurusan sosial ekonomi memiliki kompetensi yang mumpuni dalam bidang agribisnis. Mereka menjadi profesional di bidang agribisnis dari hulu sampai hilir. Alumni tersebar di industri input pertanian seperti industri pupuk, pestisida, dan alsintan, dan industri on-farm seperti industri produksi, industri budidaya pertanian, industri hilir seperti industri manufaktur, dan subsistem pendukung seperti perbankan, pembiayaan, dan lain-lain.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Dorotul Ain. Saya lulusan program S1 Agribisnis Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya, di mana saya juga mendapatkan beasiswa S2 untuk program double degree yang saya tempuh 1 tahun di Brawijaya dan 1 tahun di NIUSD Thailand. Setelah lulus, saya bekerja di salah satu perusahaan multinasional di mana saya mendapatkan kepercayaan untuk ditugaskan di kantor pusat yang berlokasi di Switzerland selama 1 tahun. Saat ini, saya menjabat sebagai manajer sosial sustainability untuk regional Asia. Terima kasih.
Proses belajar mengajar di jurusan sosial ekonomi didukung sepenuhnya dengan fasilitas belajar yang lengkap, kelas yang nyaman, smart class dengan fasilitas kelas standar internasional, dan fasilitas laboratorium untuk kegiatan praktikum mahasiswa. Banyak prestasi yang diraih oleh mahasiswa jurusan kami, baik nasional maupun internasional. Mereka mampu bersaing dengan mahasiswa dari seluruh dunia.
Saya Alona Fadila, selaku mahasiswa jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Pertanian, Prodi Agribisnis Angkatan 2017. Selama menjadi seorang mahasiswa, saya dapat belajar ilmu manajerial, dapat belajar ilmu operasi pertanian mulai hulu hingga hilir, dan hal tersebut menjadi bekal bagi masa depan saya. Selain aktif di akademik, saya juga aktif di organisasi dan beberapa kegiatan nasional maupun internasional. Prestasi terbaru saya adalah sebagai penerima beasiswa Cargill Global Scholars Program dan mendapatkan penghargaan Grand Award dalam kompetisi inovasi tingkat internasional. Hal tersebut membawa saya menjadi mahasiswa berprestasi utama Universitas Brawijaya 20.
Ayo bergabung bersama jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya untuk membangun sektor pertanian dan agribisnis nasional yang tangguh dan berkelanjutan.
Bu Novi,
Okay,
shall
thank
we
you
start
very much. Yes.
this event, or we need to wait the speaker from Southampton?
While we were waiting for the speaker from Southampton, okay, Pak. Can we just start for a while? Saya mulai, Pak. Apa mau menunggu yang dari Southampton dulu?
I think we can start at 15 past 1, yeah, because I did contact the speaker this morning and she mentioned yes, okay, she will be on time. Because in the UK at the moment still early morning around 7 a.m. So let's say 3 minutes more we give and we will start 15 past 1.
Yes, okay. I would like to say welcome to Dr. Juwaida Sarifuddin. We would like to thank you for having us in this opportunity. And we have also our Vice Dean 1, Mr. Dr. Sujarwo. We have also Mr. Head of Department and Head of Study Program. Hello, Mr. Heri Toiba, PhD, and Dr. Agustina Sinta. Yeah, I see that Miss Agustina Sinta and Miss Juwaida Sarifuddin has kind of resemblance or similarity. Maybe you could share each other. You, if Bu Juwaida meet with Miss Agustina Sinta here in Malang, so you will know that Miss Agustina Sinta is also as tall as you. She's also
Bu Novi,
in
Bu
a
Novi,
good in the same university. Yes, yes.
Bu Novi, we also invite staff of Vice Rector on
Okay.
cooperation affair, Pak Sony. Pak Sony, maybe say
Yeah.
something to
Yes,
us.
Pak Sony, and later
Uma.
on we have Bu Uma juga, Pak Sony. Hello, Pak Sony. Pak. Yes, Pak Sony is still not reachable, so now we will go with Bu Uma. Hello, Miss. Because Bu Uma told me earlier that he cannot attend until finish due to the class. Yeah. Okay, please welcome Miss Uma.
Okay, thank you, Bu Novi, Dr. Juwaida. Sorry that I will not be able to join because we also have another 3-in-1 program for agroecology. So, yeah, I have to leave early. Hello? Is my okay. Okay, and I think you can continue without me because Mbak Risa also there, Pak Sony also there, and now I have to welcoming other people also. So, and it's very nice to see you again. And I hope we can continue our collaboration. And if something needed from our side, then please don't hesitate to contact us. And yeah, enjoy the meeting. And
Thank you, Bu Uma.
Thank you, Bu Uma.
yeah, bye.
Bye. Okay, that was Bu Uma from International Office of Faculty of Agriculture. Now
There
we
is
will still
Bu
waiting for,
Nurul
yes,
Aini.
Bu Nurul Aini. Welcome Bu
Yeah.
Nurul Aini from Research Office of Faculty of Agriculture, Ibu Nurul Aini dari BPPM.
Thank you for your
Terima
invitation.
kasih. Yes. Would you mind to say something, Bu Nurul Aini? Mungkin mau berbicara sesuatu? Since we are, Bu Juwaida is from Malaysia, so sometimes, yes, we do bilingual class. We do bilingual is also okay, right? Okay.
Ya,
Nurul mungkin?
apa ya? Ya, ya selamat datang Asa, buku dari Malaysia ya. Oke, semoga nanti kita ada kerjasama yang bagus, yang berkelanjutan begitu.
Thank you. So, Bu Nurul said that welcome Miss Juwaida Sarifudin to Brawijaya University. She hope that there will be a collaboration in the future with a University Putra Malaysia, especially with Bu Dr. Juwaida Sarifudin.
Insyaallah.
Insyaallah. Thank you. Okay.
Mbak Novi,
Yes.
I also invite Mas Reddy.
Oh,
You know,
Mas
Mas Reddy is social
Reddy.
activist in village. So Mas Reddy
Okay.
Eko.
Hello, Mas Reddy Eko Prastyo. Where are you? Okay. So, Mas Reddy, would you please introduce yourself? In bahasa, it's okay. In bahasa Inggris, it's also okay.
Ready?
Mr. Reddy should be ready, yes?
It should be
Okay.
ready. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Mr. Reddy is still not yet ready, so let's go with
Lalu kalau misal kita
Mr. Sony, where are you? You busy? Mr. Karuniawan Puji Wicaksono is our vice rector in partnership affairs. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Pak Jarwo. Yes. Okay. So we have Pak Jarwo also. Would you mind to say something, please? I know you are busy. Thank you very much for attending this webinar.
Ya, Mbak Novi. Saya di UPM itu kalau nggak salah terakhir 2016 sama Prof. Zainal. Ya, Prof. Zainal. Gimana kabarnya Prof. Zainal, Bu Jubaida?
Alhamdulillah dia sihat.
Masih ngajar ya, Bu, Prof. Zainal?
Masih mengajar dengan kontrak.
Oh, kontrak ya. Ya. Siapa head departemennya sekarang?
Head of department Dr. Nodila.
Oh, baru ya?
Pernah jumpa?
Belum sepertinya. Ya. Ya, ini pandemi sulit untuk mobilitas ini. Ya.
Nanti saya terangkan on our department, then you see the picture.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, like Bu Uma, I cannot see longer because I have a meeting with our partner for we have a special program from Higher Education Department of Indonesia called Kampus Merdeka. Yeah, so we have to develop more partners in our learning for students. So today we have a schedule for a discussion with our partner regarding the activity that have to be designed for 2021 in running that program. So yeah, and I think 1:30 p.m. will be in the schedule. So
hopefully we can visit each other in 2021.
yeah, hopefully, yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
like 2020.
Actually, for graduate program, we have experience. We had experience with Pak Cahyo to UPM transfer credit for
Okay.
forestry. Yeah, forestry department, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I think the program like that is encouraged by our Ministry of Higher Education. So if the similar program can be developed, will be great for next years. So kind of the exchange, yeah.
If you already have that template with forestry, might be we can see how we can apply that to Faculty of Agriculture.
Yes, of course, yeah. So we have experiences with Thailand. The university is apa Mbak Novi, BRIC. What is the university? Raja Manggala.
Raja Manggala, yes.
Raja Manggala University.
Raja Manggala.
We have a student, student mobility from Raja Manggala. 25 students coming to our faculty, and our student coming to Raja Manggala for the next semester, kind of that. We have part of the semester coming from Raja Manggala coming to our faculty, and then the next part, the other half, conducting course in Thailand. So it's kind of that program is also conducted, if I'm not mistaken, 18 and 19, and then 18 and 2019. So the praying of the semester is not, but we still be able to conduct that program, exchange students.
Yeah. For 2020, there's
hopefully
no
that with UPM. Yeah. There is no student mobility at all.
Yes.
And our rector just stopped that program.
There are universities from Korea also having summer program, but
so
nobody
fortunately
going.
that we have thing in yeah.
I would like to say hi to Mr. Sony, Mr. Karuniawan Puji Wijaksono.
Hi, thank you for.
Hello.
UPM already have a summer program in 2019.
Cannot hear.
Yeah, I know you. I remember now.
Putus-putus, Pak Jarwo.
Now remember now. Yeah. Professor Juwaida, how are you? Kabar baik-baik kah?
Yeah. Have you ever met Bu Juwaida before, Mrs. Sony?
Yeah, sure, of course.
In Malaysia. Yes.
Gimana beliau?
Mana? Wait. While we were waiting for Bu Juwaida, Pak Jun, gimana?
Well, actually, I have contacted the speaker from University of Southampton last night, and they confirmed that they will join us on time. But until now, I don't know why they didn't join. And I checked my email, and Well, it says okay, will be joined on time. I don't know why. Maybe while we waiting them, I think it's better for us to start so they can join later.
How if we start first while waiting for them? So the first speaker would be Bu Juaida.
All right, no
Syarifudin.
problem then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will start today. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you all for finding time and visiting today's webinar. My name is Novi Haryati. I'm a lecturer of Brawijaya University and your moderator today. This is Department of Agricultural Social Economics, Faculty of Agriculture and University of Brawijaya. Our department is the leading provider of education with the mission of bringing education in agriculture to match with the business world demand and international standards.
Yeah.
We would like to thanks to our special guest today from Vice Rector for Partnership Affairs, and then Vice Dean 1 of Academic Affairs, Head of Research Affairs of Faculty of Agriculture, Head of Department of Agricultural Social Economics, and also Head of Study Program, Head of Laboratory, and all fellow lecturers of Department of Agricultural Social Economics. I wish that you can see us and hear us well. So, ladies and gentlemen, our topic today is focus group discussion and research opportunity initiatives. This is a part of 3-in-1 program that has been held since October 2020, and this is also a collaboration between two laboratories, Laboratory of Agribusiness Management and Laboratory of Agricultural Communication and Extensions. We are very pleased to introduce you to our first speaker today, Miss Dr. Juaida Syarifuddin from University Putra Malaysia. And before we start, let me explain how you can talk to us during the webinar. If you have any question during the presentation, just write them to chat or you can raise your hand and then moderator will let you speak. This webinar is also available in our YouTube channel of Jurusan Sosial Ekonomi Fakultas Pertanian UB. So, ladies and gentlemen, to begin with, I would like to inform you our agenda today. Firstly is opening, secondly, welcome speech, the third one, presentation session, fourth, question and answer session, and the last one is closing remark. Let's open today's webinar with Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, we would like to invite Dr. Agustina Sintahartati, our Head of Study Program, to give welcome speech. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Novi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, Vice Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, International Office of University Brawijaya, leader and lecturers in the Socio-Economic Department, University Brawijaya, speakers from the University of Southampton, Dr. Sahnas Ibrahim, and Dr. Juwaida Sarifuddin from University Putra Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay. This afternoon we are talking about how to build capacity, especially in the socio-economic department of agriculture faculty. We have human resources as follow: 8 professors, 5 associate professors, 14 assistant professors, 27 instructors, and 6 academic staff. Besides that, we have the ability in funding and adequate facilities, such as adequate Wi-Fi, qualified lecture rooms, 5 scientific laboratories, like Novi said, computer laboratories. Also, we have ADC. ADC is Agribusiness Development Centers, which is a forum or some place for developing the abilities of students, staff, and trading partners, such as small and medium enterprises in entrepreneurship field. And now this pandemic condition, we are forced to use almost 100% with technology. So we have 3 good capabilities: human resources, funding and facilities and technology for improving our performance. But there are still obstacles from us, such as the number of professor and associate professor that are not yet comparable to the student we accept. The second difficulty in submitted articles to reputable journals. The third, lack of the use of e-learning and filling in the web blogs regularly. The fourth, the number of doctors who are not enough for us. And the fifth, our research, there are still some lecturers who are not in according with the roadmap of university. So now we need advice from both Mrs. Sahnas Ibrahim and Ibu Juwaidah. Explore how about your experiences can improve the capabilities of your university, so that we can increase efficiency, effectiveness in terms of organizational performance too. We hope to be more competent, bigger scale, bigger audience, bigger impact to society maybe, inshallah. Okay, that's my welcome speech as the head of the agribusiness study program. Thank you both for Mrs. Sahnas and Mrs. Juwaidah for giving suggestion letters, and also thanks to the lecturers for participating this program. Good afternoon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. That was our precious head of study program. Thank you very much for Dr. Agustina Sin. And now, okay, so without any further ado, this is going to be the main of the program today. Teknisi, silakan. Mas Fai. Yes. So we will start to have our seminar while we were waiting for Miss Shahnas. I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Agus Junaidi, or we used to call him Pak Jun. Yes, okay. Ya, boleh Kak. Thank you. So I would like to inform you that our moderator today is Muhammad Agus Junaidi, SP, MSc, MPhil here with us. His current position today is senior lecturer of Department of Agricultural Social Economics, Brawijaya University, and his expertise is rural community development. So hello, Pak Agus Junaidi, are you ready?
Okay.
Yes, time is yours.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Bu Novi. Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Welcome to the discussion session, which is part of 3-in-1 program at the University of Brawijaya. 3-in-1 program is a program which is designed to improve the academic atmosphere of University of Brawijaya at an international level. I'm super excited today to have you today. I believe that the distance between us will not become the barrier to discuss the opportunity building the international collaboration initiative. Let me to take a quick moment to introduce the keynote speaker. This is supposed to be with us today, Professor Main and Dr. Sanas. They are from University of Southampton, UK. And then Dr. Juwaidah Syarifuddin. She is a senior lecturer in agribusiness marketing at Faculty of Agriculture, University Putra Malaysia. Dr. Juwaidah, it's so good to have you today. We also invited the honorable scientists from the University of Brawijaya, Indonesia, as Bu Novi mentioned. Yeah. Dr. Sujarwo, the Vice Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Sinta, the Head of Agribusiness Department, Dr. Sony, the Chancellor Export Staff for Global Partnership Program, Dr. Uma, she's joined us earlier, but because she has another program. And Dr. Nurul, head of the research center at the Faculty of Agriculture. And also, we invited a young entrepreneur, Mr. Sandi Oktasusila. Halo, Kang Sandi.
Halo, Assalamualaikum, Mr. Agus. Thank you for invite me.
All right then. Kang Sandi is the owner of PT Mitra Tani Parayangan, which focusing on business in the agricultural sector. He is also the chairman of Millennial Farmer in Indonesia. I also invited two participants, yeah. The first, Professor Kepi Sukesi and Dr. Sri Suhartini. They are awarded international grant program in the form of research. Hopefully they can join with us this afternoon. In this session, we will discuss several topics. For example, joint research initiative, joint publication, student exchange, and maybe joint supervisor, if possible. So, first of all, I would give an opportunity for Dr. Sujarwo to explain the future of University Brawijaya, especially achieving the international standard of education. Time is yours, Pak Jarwo.
Understanding dan untuk pemahaman, karena ini nanti akan menentukan konteks dari.
Oh, sorry, Pak Junaidi. I hope I have already done with this meeting, so I have another meeting. But okay, I want to say something related to Faculty of Agriculture. First of all, I would like to say thank you for Dr. Sanas Ibrahim from Somtom University, and then Bu Juwaida from UPM. We are delighted having all of you. Could be, very beneficial for us in having, experiences, sharing experiences from both of you. And I think this is potential collaboration for the next collaboration, I think, because we do need strengthen, it's not only about lecturing, but also in research. So for Faculty of Agriculture, we have struggled to connect what is the research and what is the lecturing improvement based on that research. So having linkages, all those activities into, better lecturing, better research is, require, expertise like both of you. So hopefully that Faculty Agriculture and specifically for Agribusiness Department could, develop more and more collaboration for the next years. And you know that Faculty of Agriculture and University of Brawijaya in each years always provide grant for lecturers and also professors of our department in conducting research. So I think that is, opportunity for, having joint research kind of that. So based on those, potential program coming from our university and also faculty, please, Pak Junaidi, continue the collaborations, and hopefully that will beneficial both of us. I think that is all from me. Again, we really appreciate your coming to our department and our Faculty of Agriculture. It is beneficial for us, and hopefully it is not just for 2020, but can continue for the next years. Hopefully that is, pandemic COVID-19 could be overcome soon, and the lecturer mobility and student mobility also possible for the next years. Pak Junaidi, I think it is all from me, from Faculty of Agriculture. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Mr. Jarwo,
Waalaikumsalam.
for that. I also inform you that our event today, there is a participant from social entrepreneurship unit. Yeah, his name is Mr. Reddy. Hello, Mr. Reddy. How are you? Okay. Hopefully he will respond soon. And then next, I will give an opportunity for Dr. Juwaida. She is a senior lecturer in agribusiness marketing. Dr. Juwaida, hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
All right. Well, as Mr. Jarwo mentioned, that there is really a good opportunity between University of Brawijaya and maybe overseas university, for example, UPM, to initiate collaboration. So, would you like to respond this point?
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for inviting me for this session. Actually, Universitas Brawijaya has already have MOU with UPM, I believe. So it's easier for us to do activities between our university. So we have received students coming for 1 or 2 days visiting the campus, and then we also receive mobility students. If you want to send any students to come over here, so mobility will be either 2 weeks or even 1 semesters or 2 semesters coming to our faculty, and then for us to work together and see whether they can transfer credits for undergraduate students. That is also possible because we already have that with some other universities from Indonesia. So I think that one, it can be something that we can look forward to. And then for the postgraduate students, for example, we because there's not much coursework is needed for the postgraduate students. So if students from UB wants to come to UPM to do part of the research, I think that should be that should not be a big problem for us to organize. Mobility among lecturers, for example, I found that during your the head of department just now, Ibu Agustina, is it?
Yes, Ibu Agustina.
Okay, so when she said that she introduced the department, I found that your department of agribusiness is actually quite huge. Ours is not that big, okay? The faculty of agriculture is big, but our department is not, actually our department is the second smallest in the faculty of agriculture, but we welcome any of your lecturers who wants to come and do masters or PhD here, and then it will also be co-supervised by the lecturers in UB. That is usually being done in UPM. So we don't have any problem with that. And then I believe that UB right now has funding opportunities for all the lecturers who wants to continue studying in masters and PhD. So we welcome all the lecturers who wants to further their studies in our universities.
Okay. So I note that there are three important programs that may be possible to collaborate in the future and already done previously, like student mobility, postgraduate student exchange maybe, and lecturer mobility. Is there any possibilities, Dr. Joida, for doing, let's say, kind of joint supervisor for postgraduate student, for example?
For joint supervisor, if you are from any universities coming and studying in UPM, yes, there should be one supervisor from UB itself. So that means there will be supervisory committee over here in UPM, and then there will be one more from UB.
Okay then. So we will discuss later. I think this is very interesting thing that we can discuss it. Now, thank you, Dr. Juwaida. Now I will give an opportunity for, I think, Pak Sony later, Mr. Sandi Okta, Kang Sandi, as I mentioned, he is a businessman and entrepreneur in the agricultural sector. So, Kang Sandi, hello.
Hello.
All right. So,
thank you.
yeah.
Hi,
So
everyone.
welcome, Kang Sandi, and thank you for joining us in this session this afternoon. Kang Sandi, something that we concern is about research concerning the industrial partnership. So, do you have any experience for doing collaboration with university in your company for doing research, Kang Sandi?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Agus. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. And then I'm too sorry. Today I'm not in my home or in my company because today I'm still on my farm because for prepare tomorrow IFAD International Funding Agricultural Development with Ministry of Agriculture Indonesia. One come to my workshop and then I'm prepared for welcoming. So I'm agree with Mr. Sujarwo, I think, and then I'm agree with Miss Juwaida. I think we must create a collaboration. I'm always say to or even collaboration is better than competition. So I hope and my experience in my company sometimes we have a distortion with researcher because sometimes resources make innovation but cannot implementation in the field. So I hope academician, businessmen, community, and media collaboration for create, I think, be better in the field for make innovation simple for implementation in the field. Example, I think example. Ministry of Agriculture invite me to see about a post harvest, how the vegetable can I think we save to example for save to 2 weeks for 2 weeks in save with cold storage. But I asked how if I want buy one chemical for create the vegetable for save about 2 weeks in my office. But I think uh, they are say it's cannot buy but I think must create some sample. I think the sample so we create. So I think for businessmen it's very difficult because our time I think for I think for create a market, not create one chemical or create one innovation, because my business our businessmen for always I think always for I think I'm so sorry for cooperation with our client. So I think once I say I agree for collaboration, but UPM, University of Brawijaya, I think a businessman, a community, etc. I think that's it, Mr. Agus. So thank you, Miss Juwaida, Pak Sujaro, and everyone. I hope I can support, and I'm very welcome. I'm very welcome. If you need something for collaboration with businessmen, I think it's okay. No problem. Thank you all.
All right, Kang Sandi, thank you for that.
Yeah, welcome.
Just for info, Kang Sandi, Mr. Sandi, we call Kang because he is Sundanese. Yeah. Kang Sandi have delivered a lecture for our first year student 3 times, yeah, and he provided a good motivation for our students, especially who want to become a businessman in the agricultural sector. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now I will give an opportunity for Mr. Sony. Pak Sony, can you give us the program from University of Brawijaya in the form of, global level for the standard of education?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Junaidi, and my regards to Dr. Juwaida. We met several times during my visit at UPM. Well, as you know that UPM and UB have a very strong connection, start from like 5 years ago. We actively sending students and sending professors and vice versa. We go to UPN, UPM go to UB, and hopefully in the futures we will have stronger connection than before. Well, for the international relationship, bilaterally and also globally, I think UPM is a good example of the way university have a very fast progress. Now they are in rank 500 and 150 or 130 something. So they belong to that group. We belong to group higher than that. So we have to learn from UPM the way they boost their international rank. So because of UPM is relatively very close, just like 2 hours from Indonesia, just 2 hour flight, and related with small scale business and small scale commerce like Kang siapa tadi Pak
Sandi.
ini Kang Sandi, Dr. Zuwaida, Indonesians youth right now, Indonesians young generation right now, the one that we call it millennial, is very very active in doing commerce. Mereka tuh berusaha doing business is very strong. macam tuh Mail, macam Mail dalam Upin dan Ipin gitu. Nah, macam Mail tuh. A lot of Indonesian young generations do that because it's more promising than common job. So right now, Indonesian young generations under the commander of Dr. Sujarwo, actually Dr. Sujarwo and the gangs in this club, in the social economy departments, is really the promoters of small scale business. We call it student education for entrepreneurship. So we are very strong on that. We are very strong on that science. So every years, this class we educate like one batch, like 1,000 students from Faculty of Agriculture to do the small scale businesses, and they create like 1,000 product. Each person or each group have to create their own product, and we give the fund for that students until they can do the profit out of their business. So these models, I think, it's a good models for young generations to do the real activities of business. About the collaboration perspective right now, I told you, Dr. Juwaida, after we conduct the MOU, right now we process another MOA on dual PhD and dual master degree with the UPM. Now we already give the papers to UPM, but actually UPM have very, very long process. I know for legal process is quite long. I know that we already submit that documents a month ago, last month. Now I think it's going to ministry, going to, I don't know. I read that very long process in UPM, yeah, but a very short process in Brawijaya actually. But we wait until it was signed by VC. I think the VC will sign, because of VC will sign means that we have quite a long way to go from UPM side. But anyway, it's very glad to see you again here at this conference. And I've said that you will be speaking, but it's very nice to see you again. Hopefully we can see each other again. And thank you, Pak Junaidi, for inviting me. But of course, we do that kind of program. The Office of International and International Collaboration will support any kind of international activities, mainly for engaging. But for UPM, I think we don't need to engage. We already have a very quite long history of engagement. We just have to put it more and more activities to fill these international collaborations.
Okay, Pak Sony.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you for that, Pak Sony. Now I would like invite Dr. Heri Toiba. Pak Heri, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay,
thank
Pak
you,
Heri.
Pak Junaidi.
So in this forum, sorry, Pak Heri, before you start, in this forum, they are like from Malaysian University, from Brawijaya University, especially from Department of Social Economic, that you have become the head of this department. And also we have industrial expert, which is, Kang Sandi from Petani Milenial Indonesia. So, time is yours, Pak Heri.
Thank you, Pak Junaidi. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, Bu Juwaida, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to our event this afternoon. I think the event is very important for us, for our department, because we try to improve our quality, not only in national but also in international. So this event collaborate with Bu Juwaida from the UPM. I think it's very strategic for improving our quality, especially for the first for our staff, because Bu Juwaida, we have more than 20 young lecturer is going to are looking for to school for PhD program. So some of them are is women. In some cases, don't want to leave their family and don't want to go far away from the family, like in UK, like in United States. So the Malaysia is one of a favorite destination for a study for the woman lecturer in our department. I hope that I think Bu Juwaida just over to us to collaborate to study advanced for our staff. I think more young lecturer very welcome to study advanced in UPM, like Bu Imaniar. Yeah, Bu Imaniar don't want to far away from her family, so I think UPM is still a favorite for Bu Imaniar. I think we can collaborate in terms of study for young lecturer in our department. In the second, Pak Juwaidi just already mentioned that if we send our young lecturer to UPM, we also can like joint supervisor. Also, we can join research, yeah, with our staff and your student if they is going to study in UPM. And the third, we also have a strong interest research in a small entrepreneurship. I think Mbak Novi social entrepreneurship, like Pak Junaidi his interest in research. Also Pak Rahman. We also have strong focus research in gender. I think if there is Bu Kepi present, Pak Junaidi.
Maybe later join. She
Okay.
confirmed that
Also,
she going to join
yeah,
us. Yeah.
like Bu Asing also interest in, I think, in gender in agroforestry. So probably we Bu Juwaida can connect some your colleagues in UPM have same interest in research with our staff can conduct research in case Indonesia and also case in Malaysia, so we can join research and also join publication. And the fourth, I think, like Pak Jarwo mentioned, we collect student mobility. Yeah, we also like what you call have some student mobility from, I think, from Thailand, isn't it, Mbak Imaniar? I think it's in the future we also collaborate to conduct like student mobility between the our department, our faculty with the UPM. And the last, I think this is what you call the former dean Pak Novil, now is the rector, actually would like to collaborate to conduct international conference with the UPM. I think Pak Junaidi probably the next day we can discuss intense or more focus in how to conduct international conference, collaborate between the Brawijaya University of Agribusiness Department or Faculty of Agriculture with the UPM, because I know that UPM have collaborated conduct a collaborated international conference with the, I think, the University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, University of I think Jember, yeah, in Jember, and also, but Malang is not yet. Yeah, actually, Malang is what is the one of the most favorite destination for conference. So if we conduct a conference in Malang, I think more participant will be coming to Malang rather than from Jember, rather than from Yogyakarta, because the weather, because the hospitality for our our student, our academic, and our people. So I think this some opportunity, some chance for collaborate with us, Bu Juwaida, Pak Junaidi. Probably, I hope Pak Bu Uma, Bu Imanier can follow up more intense. Our hoping about the collaboration in research, in publication, sending our staff to UPM. Also, in the last, I think it's more important thing in the short time is conducting international conference, collaborate between the UPM and also the Department of Agribusiness. Pak Junaidi, I think, thank you.
Thank you, Pak Heri, for that. Well, I also invited Dr. Sri Suhartini. Hello, Dr. Sri. Can you hear me?
Pak Rahman probably kalau.
Yeah. So, wait. Okay. Oh, Pak Rahman first maybe. Pak Rahman, hello, Pak Rahman. Pak Rahman is not in here. All right. Dr. Sri Suhartini, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually I also invited Dr. Sri, who awarded several international research grant, mainly from UK. So she can share her experience how to access or to get the international research grant. Time is yours, Dr. Sri.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Pak Muhammad Junaidi. Thank you for the honor to invite me to share with you all for about our experience in getting international grant. So actually, starting in 2017, I have an opportunity to get a research grant from United Kingdom, from UK, through the Royal of Engineering UK. This is collaboration with Southampton University and also small scale industry in Malang. We are focusing on wastewater treatment in batik industry. The grant is provided for 2 years actually, and then we got an extension for 1 year. So it just finished last year in December 2019. So basically how I get this grant, the first thing that we need to emphasize here is we have to get like the PI from the UK side. And at that time, I got my colleague from Faculty of Engineering. And the aim of these activities is basically to transfer the technology for wastewater treatment. And then actually for many international grants, it's supposed to have a partnership, not only between universities, but also can be with communities, industry, NGO. It's also a very good example in order to ensure that our activities can be publicly disseminated, not only for the community, but also for the public, public community, something like that. And then the second grant is again from the UK. It's called Newton Fund Institutional Link. So we got the funding in 2018, but the program is started in 2019 for 1 year actually. And then we request for the extension due to the COVID-19. So we got 1 year extension and it will end in this December 2020. And for the Newton Fund Institutional Link is quite unique because only a small fraction of a research can be done, and the activities should be focusing more on community engagement or public engagement. So Newton Fund is not only want us to tackle like the technical problem or technology transfer, but also want to see how the research impact to the community or society. So in terms of like a gender empowerment and then capacity building, that is the main area that need to be emphasized. So I think for this area is suitable for your department because you are focusing on what social extension, right? Social extension and also gender. There will be an open opportunity for your department to collaborate with wider university or wider grant call. And then for GCRF, which is a much bigger scale, for Rhine and Newton Fund, like I mentioned before, the collaboration can be just one partner with industry or with the community, and then partnership with the research institute in Indonesia is okay. But for GCRF, because the funding is like billion rupiah or million pound sterling, so the collaboration needs to not only between UK and Indonesia, for example, but also involving several other developing countries. For example, like UK with Indonesia, with Malaysia, with Bangladesh, and then with France, for example, something like that. So we need to be able to show various expertise involving in the research, and then also need to be able to show that the working package, we call it a working package of the area that want to be tackled, not only in terms of the research, but also need to targeting the community. So UK especially and the Europe funding is always focusing about how your activities or research activities have a good or a very excellent impact to the community, that you need to be able to show it in the proposal, something like that. And also the collaboration is not only based on like community or university, but also can involve NGO. Last time I involved as well in making a research bid for GCRF with University of Southampton, tackling about waste problems. So we involving like NGO from Indonesia, NGO from Malaysia, NGO from India, and also from UK, something like that. So, and then one more important thing is that we need to be able to show that in Indonesia is not only focusing on our university as the main partner. So we need to be able to make a research hub. So what I mean by research hub is that we need to also make a collaboration with other university that is much smaller or ranked below us, something like that. So maybe we can collaborate with a university from eastern part of Indonesia, something like that. That is also can provide additional point for your proposal, something like that. So there is actually many opportunities for collaboration, research collaboration. But again, I need to highlight here that when we talk about research collaboration, it's not only talking about doing research. We go to the village, for example, or do research in the experiment in the lab. No, not only like that, but we need to be able to show what is the impact of your research to the society. Maybe to youth generation, or maybe to women, or maybe to marginalized communities, something like that. It's not only for the UK-based grant, but also for the Australian. There is also grant for Australian alumni. I think Australian grant scheme, yeah, AGS. also provide a certain amount of money to support your activities, mainly on community engagement, something like that. And for with Malaysia, actually there is also open available opportunity because like UB and UPM, I think from the keynote from UPM, right? We can also propose a grant from SEARCA, Siameo SEARCA. There is a research grant called SEED, a research grant. Not much, basically the money, but it can be a stepping stone for your department possibly to conduct a research collaboration, and it is available every year. And then the research can also involve doctoral degree students, something like that, or master degree students, which is can provide much more benefit for your institution. What else? Yeah, I think that's all. But basically, when you want to initiate collaboration, the first thing that you need to ensure that the PI of your future partner is categorized as an eligible for PI. So usually you need to check with the CV. If the PI has experience in getting a research grant from her or his previous project, so it can build her CV or his CV. So the funder can give like additional points, something like that. And also the expertise. Like I mentioned before, not only involving one expert. So you need to show the multidisciplinary in your research team. That is also another one point to be highlighted. Yeah, so you need to involve like expert from social field, or expert in the economic, expert in engineering, expert in what food technology, something like that. Again, it depends on the theme of your topic in your proposed research grant.
So do you mean like multidiscipline or
Yes.
interdisciplinary?
Yeah, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research team.
Okay, so
Because
thank you.
Yep.
Yep, thank you, Dr. Sri, for that. Well, I welcome Professor Main and Dr. Shanas. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you today? Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon now.
Good afternoon, Indonesian time, and still morning in the UK. So
that's right. Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm delighted to be a part of today's meeting, and I'm so delighted that my colleague, Dr. Ibrahim, has invited me to come and join you. Very, very nice to meet you all, albeit virtually, as it is these days anyhow. Thank you.
I would like to introduce Professor Mina. Professor Mina is the head of department for research at the Southampton Business School in the Department of Strategy, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And she is also the lead researcher in our department, led many research, international research projects, international collaborations. She has a huge expertise in research funds, led many Newton institutional research funds and different sorts of funds. So the experience and expertise is for many years is like really evident in Professor Mina's work. And her specialization is diversity, entrepreneurship, and yeah.
Okay, so Professor Mina and Dr. Shanas, thank you so much for joining us. I just want to inform that this session, we invite Dr. Juwaidah from University Putra Malaysia, from Malaysia, and also honorable scientists from University of Brawijaya, mainly the what's called the doctor and some academic staff from Department of Agribusiness, yeah, And then also we invited a practitioner from entrepreneur as well, who running business in the agriculture sector. So it is possible for us if there is a opportunity to create a collaboration between academician and industrial partnership, for example. And I think this is good idea. I want just to let you know that this program called 3-in-1 program, which is part of international program designed to improve the academic atmosphere at the University of Brawijaya in the international level. So thank you so much for joining us. And so far, we have started this discussion, and all of participants already presenting their thinking about the potential collaboration. So we would like to hear from you, I don't know, maybe Dr. Shanas and Professor Mina, about your experience doing collaboration. For example, joint research, joint publication, for example, or maybe joint supervisor or anything. So the participant will respond what you present later. Okay, so time is yours. Professor Mina first, I think.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are very delighted to be part of the potential parts of your team, and we're looking forward to that. So at the University of Southampton, at the Southampton Business School, and specifically at our department, we specialize in entrepreneurship, sustainability, corporate social responsibility. And like the previous speaker, we were very impressed when she was talking about the impact, because this is what we were actually looking for, and we were aim and main goal of our research collaboration is to have an impact. We have lots of examples of things that we did in our department, and I have been involved in a couple of research projects on social entrepreneurship, and also another project about sustainability in agriculture. It's in Turkey, in fact, so very similar to the areas that you are looking for. We had research with Newton Institutional Fund in Turkey and in different places as well. But I will leave also like Professor Mina to talk more about the details of these kinds of collaboration and applications that we have done and what we are doing, and the process that we go through. Usually we have, of course, industry partners because to make sure that we have some impact for practitioner as well. So practice impact as well as theoretical and research impact. And one of the goals of these research collaborations is also to do publications and research, and some of them are interdisciplinary in nature. That's why we are fascinated with collaborating with different disciplines, because it's really exciting and needed these days. So I will leave Professor Mina to talk in detail also about these kinds of research collaborations and her experience as well, and the experience of the department. She's talking on behalf of us.
Thank you so much. Can we share our slides, please, if that's okay?
Yes. Can I share some slides? Just a couple of slides we have here.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, right. Can you see our slides? Is it possible to see the grid as well, Shahnaz?
Yeah, it's good.
Like this. Perfect. Like that. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, that's great. We are all getting kind of like tuned with all this technology and everything, aren't we? These days. I'm not teaching until January, so I'm still behind my colleagues in that respect, but I will learn. I will learn. Even myself, who is not the most competent person using technology, I will learn to use it most effectively.
But she's a very quick learner as well. She's just being humble, trying to be humble.
Okay, but thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Shahnaz. This is a great opportunity to tell a little bit about us. And as Shehnaz has kindly introduced, I'm a professor of strategy and entrepreneurship, and I'm currently the head of research for our department. I mean, you'll see in my title, which I put quite proudly, I'm the lead chair of the doctoral colloquium URAM, which I will tell you about it so in a little bit later. Before then, our Department of Strategy, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, first and foremost, has a team of wonderful people, as you can see in this particular photo. We are very interdisciplinary and international team of scholars with different areas of expertise, with different focuses, in fact, in terms of our academic activities. All of us are really very much engaged in research. All of us are also very much engaged in teaching. And all of us, in fact, are very much involved in impact creating activity in one way or another, as Shehnaz has mentioned, and his previous colleague of ours was also talking about. And I'll come back to that impact. Our department was kind of like recreated, re-emerged when the Southampton Business School has been restructured as part of the university's restructuring in 2011. We've created a department, we've then built it up. I have to say, I'm kind of like the oldest person in the department in terms of not only my age, but also in terms of the length of time that is spent in Southampton. I joined the University of Southampton in 2004, and I completed my PhD, in fact, in University of Southampton. I was a PhD student. Halfway through, I got my first job as a lecturer. So Southampton is a very special place for me, not only in terms of all those years that academic experience that I have gained throughout this institution, but also I have met such wonderful people, wonderful colleagues, such as Shehnaz and everyone else that you are seeing in this photo. So on that note, oh, sorry, well, okay, Shehnaz and I have been working together for 10 years now. And as Shehnaz said, we have mutual research interests. We have been working together on a number of projects. And I will give you some examples of that if I have time, by the way. So you can interrupt me. And because when I get excited and when I'm so happy about what I'm talking, I tend to talk a lot. So just do tell me when we are short of time. Okay, so I mean, some of the research that we've been doing together is Shehnaz's on Shehnaz's slides, like entrepreneurship. Shehnaz does more on digital entrepreneurship than definitely I do. But again, Shehnaz is an expert on corporate social responsibility. I learned more of what I know of corporate social responsibility through Shehnaz, but we also work together on sustainable entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Shall I move on?
Yes,
please.
Mina was also like, worth to mention that Mina was my supervisor. So she was the first one who introduced me to lots of like all these research collaborations and all this knowledge and experience in these topics. So I was also lucky to have her as my supervisor and then as a dear colleague. So, and I think we built together lots of things together, and it has been a pleasure. So yeah, so this is something just to let you know as well.
Thank you so much. It's mutual pleasure. Okay, right. Yes, I've already kind of like briefly mentioned. I will tell you more about my expertise so that we can put all of the international collaborations and projects in context, because this is the subject of today's meeting. And then I will talk about the kinds of funded projects that Shehnaz, myself, and other colleagues have run. And I'm going to mention particularly the ones that I have led. I will tell you a little bit about my academic leadership experience, because it's also related to how you build these networks, how you understand how the wider university works, etc. So this is kind of what I'm going to go through. In terms of expertise, I did many years ago, I did my PhD in entrepreneurial learning experience of art and design students. I really believed wholeheartedly that entrepreneurship is a layered phenomenon. You need to understand the macro context, you need to understand the relationships at the meso level, you also need to understand the agency, entrepreneurial motivations, people's biographies, people's profiles, the capitals that they bring into the process, their education, their networks, etc. So from those years onwards, When I joined the University of Southampton in 2004, I had the fortune to work with Professor Elizabeth Chell, who was my PhD supervisor at the time. She was really a true believer in social entrepreneurship, which was a relatively new phenomenon then. In fact, UK has always been leading in terms of social entrepreneurship, but in terms of government discourse, in terms of academic discourse, it was very, very new. There was very few studies, mostly coming from the States, not even from Europe. Although social entrepreneurship has been around in terms of practice in many different countries, including the country that I am from, I am Turkish, in many kind of like years, in many different settings, even from the Ottoman Empire times, there were social kind of like or welfare activities in every government, in every country. But that was kind of like the way in which social entrepreneurship was portrayed as an activity, not like a charity or a third sector activity, but an activity to create social value as well as enterprise value with all those associated skills and expertise was new. And I was very lucky to be a part of those teams that Elizabeth Chell led at the time, but I took it forward over the years towards all sorts of new discourses that was emerging. Sustainability is one of them. Sustainable entrepreneurship, what do we understand from sustainable entrepreneurship? Not only in environmental terms, we tend to take a broad perspective to sustainability. For example, currently, Shehnaz and I are co-supervising a PhD student that looks at sustainable entrepreneurship in tourism in Tanzania. There are many other examples that we can cite, but all I'm trying to tell you that some of these projects have emerged from each other. So these emergences, so to speak, not only come from what is really topical at the time or what is timely in terms of research gap, etc. Also, what is close to your heart and your mind. These areas, sustainability, diversity, were really close to my heart. And I mean, if you think about it, as a foreign-born woman who made her career up kind of like throughout the years in a country, you get more sensitized, you get more kind of like sensitive about some of these issues regarding diversity because you are relatively young, at least in the eyes of most people, you are woman, you are foreign born, you know, on all those strands of diversity, you experience certain things. So I was wholeheartedly believing in diversity dimensions of entrepreneurship, which led me to work on women entrepreneurship, for example. My first project on women entrepreneurship was on a Institute of Physics funded project. Institute of Physics is a professional body in the UK. Professor Chell, my PhD supervisor, was the lead person, and she involved me in the project. And we did do a research looking at women engineers and physicists involvement in academic entrepreneurship, for example. So we've tried to understand what their motivations were, what the barriers were. We've tried to understand the STEM departments, science, technology, engineering, medicine departments in the UK universities. We did research with Cambridge, Oxford, Southampton, Bath at the time. So, and then I started doing some research on female entrepreneurship in Turkey. Through some of my PhD kind of like supervisees, even MSc supervisees, as well as through some collaborations. And I'll come back to that notion of how to build collaborations based on my experience, of course. So it's really this notion of how you develop your research topics, how you develop the expertise and the connections. So that was women entrepreneurship. I also did some research on ethnic entrepreneurship. Again, through a colleague of mine, we did look at women's Turkish Cypriots in North London, what kind of businesses that they set up. We looked at solicitor businesses, we looked at restaurant businesses, etc., so on and so forth. And these projects, as I was engaged academically in terms of understanding what the literature is like, I was collaborating. All of my projects are empirical projects. I've always believed in evidence-based research. And I strongly recommend you, colleagues, that you really, whatever you are doing, I think that's why I really wholeheartedly believe in impactful research, and there is impact case studies in the UK. We have a framework for that, which I will come back to. But it's really important. From very early age onwards in my career, I believed that we should do something that touches the lives of individuals, that changes practices in organizations, that makes an impact on society, that makes an impact on policy. And in fact, with the creation of the Center for Inclusive and Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Innovation, which dates back to 5 years ago, we have really accelerated this sort of activity. We have created new labs, we have created new activities. We would really, from time to time, if you're interested, we can open some of our events to you and we can engage with you even on, within that domain as well. As to projects, I mean, having talked about these kind of like expertise, as we were going through, as I said, I've always believed in evidence-based research. I've always done empirical research. I have supervised doctoral projects to completion. I have 16 PhD supervision completion right now from all sorts of countries that you can imagine. My first PhD student was from Pakistan, so was the second one. And then I had students from, well, of course, Shehnaz joined us 2010. And then I had students from Lebanon. I'm just trying to tell you the diversity, international diversity, excuse me, diversity that we have. I had, for example, I had students from Turkey, of course, from UK, Tanzania. So I had 2 different international collaborations in PhD course supervision. One of them was with Jönköping International Business School in Sweden. And this was a Turkish student who was looking at women immigrant entrepreneurship in the context of Sweden. So she was really looking at the experiences of Turkish women entrepreneurs.
Excuse me, Professor Mina. Excuse me. Can we give opportunity for Dr. Juwaida for delivering a little bit topic, because she already has appointment with another program. So after she presented a little thing, you can continue your material. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect. Of course, of course.
Sorry about this. So,
no. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I tend to talk a lot, and I'd like to share a lot. But please do interrupt me at any time. So we'll continue. Over to you, please. Thank you.
So I pause for a moment. So I will give opportunity for Dr. Juwaida. If you would like to say something, time is yours.
Thank you so much for your the time given to me. Actually, for our department in the Faculty of Agriculture, University Putra Malaysia, it's just that I just want to introduce you to some of the academic stuff that you can find out, and also you can communicate by email before you want to apply to our university, because I know that you have more around 20 young lecturers who wants to come, who wants to further their studies, and might be some of you have interest to come to our university. So if I could, I will share you on our faculty. Can I share screen here?
Yes, please, you can share the screen.
Okay, it's just that I will go briefly towards the, well, you have known this just now, ranking of UPM in Southeast Asia. And then, but mostly what our strength is in agriculture. So if you look at this, okay, I will show you about our faculty to be the Center of Excellence in Education, Research and Technology in Tropical Agriculture. So it's about the same, similar as yours. This is the academic departments that we have. So most probably the one that is close to you is our department, Department of Agribusiness and Bioresource Economics. But we have also other departments in the faculty looking at all the sciences aspects. So now these are the postgraduate programs that we have. The ones that I told you about mobility and transfer credit might be, it can be applied in our undergraduate programs. Okay, the postgraduate program, we have PhD and Master of Science in all the topics that you want. So under all the 7 departments that I have mentioned just now. We also have Masters in Coursework. So if any of you decides to further studies in Masters but in coursework, so we do have that too. This is on my department. So this is my head of department, Associate Professor Dr. Nolila Muhammad Nawi. So she is in agribusiness marketing. What I propose you to do is not directly you want to apply to UPM. It's more appropriate and more easier for you if you contact this lecturer first as your potential supervisor, discuss, and if she or he accepts, then only you proceed to apply to our university. So I think that is easier and it's going to be much more faster. Okay, so the professors that we have, all the professors are under contract right now, but we have Professor Dr. Mat Nasir Shamsuddin. This is in Agriculture and Resource Economics. Professor Dr. Zainal Abidin Muhammad, Agriculture Economics and Agribusiness Marketing. And also Professor Dr. Muhammad Mansur Ismail in Agribusiness Finance. And then after that, we have associate professors, Professor Madia, Associate Professor Dr. Norsidaman. She is in Agriculture Extension. I know that many of you are doing in Extension Studies. Associate Professor Dr. Niti Hirawati Kamaruzaman is in Supply Chain Management. So anybody who wants to do supply chain or halal, you can contact Dr. Niti, and also you can contact me if you want to do halal research and also agribusiness marketing. So we have 3 associate professor, 4 including our head of department, and then these are our senior lecturer, okay, Dr. Kelly Wong Kai Seng. So 3 of them are in agricultural economics. Dr. Kelly Wong Kai Seng, Dr. Nurul Nadia Ramli, and also Dr. Mark Buddha. The one on accounting and finance in agribusiness is Dr. Fazlin Ali. She's also in qualitative studies. So her expertise in qualitative studies. We have Dr. Ahmad Hanis in agribusiness, management and also entrepreneurship. And also we have Tuan Haji Sabani Saimin. This is our fellow lecturer in agriculture marketing. So actually the ones that is in entrepreneurship, you said just now, to focusing on agriculture entrepreneurship, Tuan Haji Sabani is actually he's handling the program whereby we have 6 months of entrepreneurship incubation program that is for graduates. Those who have graduates from diploma and higher than diploma, bachelor and all that. If you have graduated and you want to focus into agri entrepreneurship, you can come and spend 6 months with different modules that you can pick one of the modules, and we will try and make you prepare to be agri entrepreneurs by the time you graduate from that incubation program. So we have that in UPM. This is our lecturer, Major Muhammad Fadil in Strategic Management, and Mr. Wan Marzuki in Agri-Entrepreneurship. Our tutor, he's already passed his Viva for PhD. So he will be joining us as senior lecturer in next month. So he is in agri-entrepreneurship. So my advice is, if you want to further your studies in UPM, try to look in our website, find their email address, and then email to them your proposed topics. So that they are aware that you want to do that topic, and your future application form will directly go to them, and it will be faster route to further your study here. So actually that's it that I want to share, so that you know how to, all our application forms and all that is on our website. So it's really easy for you to apply to UPM. Thank you, Pak Junaidi.
Okay, Dr. Juwaida, as you mentioned, maybe you will have another program. So unfortunately, you will have this forum. I'm really pleased if you want to leave it, but hopefully we
I still have a question for Miss Juwaida Sarifudin for a while, please, if it is okay. If I have is it okay for me to have a question for a while, Juwaida?
You still have?
Yes, okay.
All right, one question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, still have time. So, just in case I want to apply as the PhD candidate, but I also want to have a scholarship to finance my study. So it is very important for me to have a letter of acceptance. So my question is, when we have already had an agreement with one of the supervisor as mentioned in your website, I mean, do they then proceed with the letter of acceptance, or do we need to pay the bench fee or the SPP in Indonesia, like that? Okay, would you mind to give us the
I
explanation about
understand.
that? Thank you very much.
Yes, I understand about that, because from Malaysia, when we want to continue study in US or UK, we have to have the acceptance letter from the university, but then we cannot pay anything yet.
Yeah.
Okay, what I did with one lecturer from another university is that, and then it is also approved by our faculty, is that the lecturer themselves can provide a letter saying that they agree to accept you as the future students, and that lecturer have used that letter, and Kerajaan Indonesia did give the scholarship. So they provide the scholarship, and then after that, the letter of acceptance will be given out by UPM.
Oh, okay.
We have that situation. It's just that that lecturer unfortunately cannot come because of COVID. So,
okay.
So 2020 is not a good year.
Yeah. I see. Because sometimes the scholarship need the LOA, Miss, and then the university needs when they want to issue the LOA, they need us to pay the bench fee first. So that sometimes something that is confusing in the process.
Yeah.
If any of you is contacting the lecturer and then the lecturer doesn't know how to proceed, then tell her to tell me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then I think it's good. And thank you, Bu Novi, for the question. So we return back to Professor Mina and
Yes.
Dr. Sanas.
Thank you, Prof. Mina and Dr. Sanas. Happy to see you. We can meet again another time.
Okay, see you later, Dr. Joyda.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Professor Mina and Dr. Sanas, what we discussed previously, Professor Mina and Dr. Sanas, we have discussing a lot with Dr. Joyda that some of staff in our department at the University of Brawijaya, they need to continue the PhD study. So our government provided opportunity to get a scholarship so they can continue their PhD study overseas. In Malaysia, for example, and it's possible in the UK under Professor Mina supervisor, for example. So this is a good opportunity for our staff to continue their study. Well, I think we continue with Professor Mina about this slide. So,
okay,
please,
how much time I have in terms of the talk that I'm going to have, and how much time you would like to leave for interaction, please?
Yes.
Dr.
Well, actually, we provided 5 minutes for presentation. After that, we can do Q&A session, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Is that okay for you?
5 minutes. Okay. Can I take another 5 minutes? Okay. Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Junaidi. Thank you so much. Thank you, colleagues. Yes. Yeah, in terms of the projects, funded projects, how they have developed, of course, the most important thing is your networks, right? Whatever networks that you have in any country, in any context, but you need to also understand the funding landscape as well. How does these funding schemes work? You really need to understand what they are looking for in each proposal, etc. I have had experience of mostly internationally funded projects, but I have also had experience of UK Research Council funded projects. UKRI, which is on the slides that we put, means UK, this is the new name, umbrella name for all the research councils in the UK, which includes ESRC, for example, Economic Social Research Council, EPSRC, Engineering Physical Sciences Research Council. I got projects from all of them, or both of them, in fact, not all of them, those two, because there are other medical kind of like more science-based, biological sciences-based councils as well. One project that Shehnaz and I worked on, which was not led by me as such, by Professor Laura Costanzo, who is our head of school at the moment, was on social entrepreneurship, for example, which was an ESRC funded project. Many other projects that I led, but I want to talk a little bit about, because I have limited time, on internationally funded projects. I know that you are more interested in those. Shehnaz has kindly briefed me on that. And we have, again with Shehnaz, for example, we have, I have led a project on funded by British Council, Newton Institutional Links Scheme with Turkey. The project was on sustainable entrepreneurship in agrotourism. We looked at not only the kind of like hotels, but we've looked at those very kind of like boutique hotels in Turkey, particularly on the Aegean coast, how they were engaged in agriculture. Again, I'm referring to my previous colleague in terms of agro-entrepreneurship, in terms of tourism entrepreneurship. This was my, in fact, second project funded by British Council. My first project that I led, which was funded by British Council, was on actually agricultural entrepreneurship in the UK, which was quite a while ago, in 2010, in fact. And that looked at sustainability and management practices of agricultural entrepreneurs in Turkey. We built on that. The discourses have changed, as I was telling you in the previous part of my conversation. And as the discourses change towards sustainability, sustainable entrepreneurship, and more around corporate social responsibility, with all those works that we've been doing together, particularly Shehnaz's work on CSR in SMEs, etc., we focused on the tourism entrepreneurship. And then we started supervising PhDs, for example. So this is how it gets all together, because you establish your name in the field, you get all these funded projects on your profile, and then you start building that expertise and contacts. Another example that I'd like to give you is the international project I remain hugely proud of, is the British Academy funded project. British Academy is, as you know, is a very prestigious funding body in the UK, and Newton Advanced Funding, Advanced Fellowship Scheme, is very difficult to get. I was one of the 2 academics in the university, entire University of Southampton at the time, that got this funding. And this funding, this project was on technology, entrepreneurial ecosystems in developing countries. We basically looked at the role of technology transfer offices in driving entrepreneurial universities in the UK. So with all that work that you are doing on sustainable entrepreneurship, CSR, and social entrepreneurship, diversity entrepreneurship, you're doing, as I said at the beginning, you're doing this within the macro context of entrepreneurial activity. That's what we call entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial ecosystem. As we all know, there is a huge literature behind that, quite a recent literature. We started working on that concept, and we started, for example, getting PhD students in that area. Shehnaz and I currently are supervising a colleague of us from Saudi Arabia. She is looking at entrepreneurial ecosystems and the role of business incubators in the Saudi Arabian context. I supervised another student, Sarah Shaheen, from Lebanon. She looked at the role of international networks, diaspora. As you know, Lebanon is one of those countries who has the most diaspora in terms of kind of like, you know, the cultural exchange and all sorts of international networks that Lebanese people have with those people who, with the Lebanese diaspora across the world, etc. So she looked at entrepreneurial connectedness, so to speak, interconnectedness between the system. So these are some of the projects. As you do funded projects, as you get engaged in collaborations, you start taking applications on PhDs. And I mean, both Shehnaz and I receive so many applications, particularly from developing countries, particularly from the geographies that we both are from, because people tend to resonate with you, because people do understand that also PhD supervision is something that you not only you need to be interested in the subject, you need to be sure of the competencies of the applicant, but also you need to have a little bit of kind of like mutual understanding and ways of working together, because it's a long relationship. I mean, average PhD completion in the UK is 4 years. And sometimes students complete it in 5 years, sometimes complete it in 6 years. We all have personal circumstances. And most of my students, in fact, including Shehnaz, they were full-time academic staff in their respective countries, like some of our colleagues in your university. So you have to understand all those dynamics. Therefore, it's really important to be able to choose those people whom you can work together, whom you can lead to fruitful collaborations. It always doesn't. Yes. You know, sometimes, I mean, of course, when we take on projects at hand and, you know, when we particularly commit ourselves to PhD supervision, which is the biggest responsibility in my view, and the most enjoyable aspect of our work as well, you of course do justice to that commitment, and you work with our colleagues, and you kind of like bring that to the completion, but you don't necessarily always publish with your PhD supervisees. I mean, you do continue to work with some of them who are brightest and who are most competent and who are really willing to do the work. And after a while, they need to drive it. This is the point I'm trying to make, really, because PhD supervisors tend to get busy. I mean, we also engaged in all sorts of academic leadership activities as you move up the career ladder. And that is my third point that I would like to mention. it was, of course, as with everybody else, it was also important for me that I was getting involved in some of the leadership roles in the university because of my promotion applications, this and that. But I really chose those areas that I had my heart in it. That's why I think I succeeded in them. My first academic leadership role was the director of graduate school, for example. When the Faculty of Business, Law and Art was was established after another restructuring of the university. I saw many restructurings, as I'm quite old in the university now. The roles, the graduate school, it had 3 schools: Southampton Management School at the time named, then turned to Southampton Business School in 2011, Winchester School of Art, which is in Winchester campus, which is about 25 minutes away from Highfield, and Law School, Southampton Law School. And we had about 250 in total in the faculty, PhD students, of which majority was in the Southampton Business School, about 150, and the rest allocated to the rest. So I applied to that job because I enjoyed PhD supervision most. And I felt this is the area that I would like to contribute to the university, and I would like to develop my own competencies as an academic leader, and of course, build up my CV, etc. And I did that for 3 years. Towards the end of my post, I was just it's a very steep learning curve. You work with PhD students, supervisors, you learn about the regulations, processes more, you get connected with the wider university, you tend to know many people. And I have put my application for Associate Dean Research. And I got it, to my surprise, because I was a very junior professor then. I had just promoted to professorship, but I was working with a dean who had the vote of confidence in me, so to speak. He really thought that what I did was really great enough to be able to move on to such a big role. It was quite challenging because, as I keep saying, it's not easy to be a foreign-born woman. It's not easy to be a young woman. And it's not really easy to be a person who has earned whatever has earned through hardship. So despite many difficulties, but also many opportunities, I would like to say, I did that job for 5 years, Associate Dean Research job. That also taught me a lot of things. Of course, I learned more about the broader funding landscape. I learned about publication system. I learned about open access. I learned about how the wider collaborations work. I learned about how university is putting bigger strategies in terms of internationalization, which is a great university, Southampton is, in terms of internationalization. They have always been leading the way as a research, exactly. We are a Russell Group University, as you know, and they have very strong emphasis on research. We have very strong emphasis on research. So it was quite evident. It was I've learned about REF, Research Excellence Framework, so on and so forth. Finally, I'd like to mention the importance of putting your, again, mind and heart in one particular. This was my choice. I never networked with many organizations. I have chosen EUREM, for example, European Academy of Management. As an organization, from my PhD onwards, I have attended to conferences, I contributed by presenting papers, I have attended to doctoral colloquiums, etc., etc. And I have done many things with colleagues throughout, and I have met wonderful people through EUREM, whom I cherish in my career right now. That hard work, dedication, and commitment wholeheartedly very heartfelt commitment, so to speak, led me become first a co-chair of the EUREM doctoral colloquium, which was, I think, 5 years ago. I became a co-chair. And then in 2 years, I became the lead chair when the doctoral colloquium chair team left. And I was offered to be the lead chair, and I have been doing it for 3 years. Shehnaz is very active in the DC. We have been mentoring PhD students. We, unfortunately, this year it's online, as with everything else. So, for example, in a month's time, on the 7th and 8th of December, we have the online DC. We will have 50 students joining us for a series of events over 2 days, and they will also receive mentoring from our very valuable colleagues, such as Shehnaz and many other colleagues across Europe, across America, across the globe. And because of all my service and dedication and all my international research and kind of all this acumen that I have developed over the years, last year in Lisbon, I was granted the URAM Fellow status, which is a kind of a distinguished status given to very few individuals. If you check URAM's website, you will see, and you will see very few women, in fact, and I remain hugely proud of that. And this was something that that I'm really grateful. The reason I'm telling all of this is this. We have limited time, limited energy. We have families. I have a son, I have my husband, I have my life, I have my friends, I have my colleagues. We have many commitments in life, and we need to put our priorities right in all other aspects of life. I never wanted to be kind of like a huge full-blown networker in kind of like attending all sorts of conferences. I attended different conferences throughout my career, of course, because we were collaborating with people. They wanted to present papers here and there. And also it was nice to go to places, interesting places. And we also had the luxury of, for example, choosing some exotic destinations for ourselves from time to time when we reached that stage in our careers. I do remember the Santorini, I do remember the Vietnam, and so on and so forth. Many beautiful memories. But the point I'm trying to make is that put your heart and mind into one particular organization, in a networking organization, as I did for URAM, for example. Follow that closely. Do justice to all the tasks that it requires. Do justice to all the people whom you met over the years. I mean, you will, of course, like some of them. You will not like some of them. You will respect some of them more. You will not respect some of them. But with those whom you can connect with, work with those people, it pays off. This is what I would like to say. It does pay off, and it is. I'm kind of grateful for that. It has paid off for me, and I'm really grateful to my colleagues, everybody, Shehnaz, everyone else, whom have, because we are a team. We couldn't do this. And again, this is another thing. This is a collective responsibility. It's not just you building your own career. I've never thought like that. I've been very conscious of my PhD students' life, PhD students' interests. I don't even remember kind of like influencing any of them in terms of, okay, of course, I would make some academic judgments as to this theoretical perspective would work. Shehnaz, as being a very strong researcher and a very strong-minded, strong-hearted women academic, for example, well, I was working with Bourdieu at the time. She said to me, well, I'm going to do social capital theory. This is what works for me. I didn't know about social capital theory then. I mean, of course, I had read about it, but I hadn't applied it. I've learned it with her because that's what she wanted to do. And we learn from each other. I mean, we guide projects, we direct teams. I mean, lately I have become much more kind of perhaps a little bit more directive than I used to be in the past, because we are working with larger teams now. It requires coordination. It requires effort. I need to put together more people. So I need to give more direction, but it doesn't mean that you don't allow them to exercise some academic freedom, some intellectual freedom in what they choose. Very final thing, we are putting together an application right now on disability and entrepreneurship, which was, again, an area that was very close to my heart over the years. We are putting an application to an organization called British Academy of Management. I'm sure you've heard of it, with Strategic Association of Management Society. The deadline is December. The expression of interest form is due by tomorrow, which I have completed. Really? Yes, yesterday. But it needs to go through the university school's internal process, because there are 2 applications and they will choose one, because you can only submit one application. There is demand management for some funding applications. That's another thing that I've learned well over the years, particularly through my faculty roles as associate in research. Anyhow, we've done our best efforts, and inshallah, yes, it will get somewhere, and we'll see. But the point is, you put all these applications, you build up the teams, and you work with people. What is really most important is impact. This is my final note. And I, again, go back to the previous conversations that we have had. We have impact case studies in the UK. And yeah, I've never developed an impact case study, but I know how a good impact case study looks like, because as an associate in research, I have worked with people who are developing, and I have reviewed some. But it's really important to build that element of impact. That's why these days, when we are developing projects, we are really looking at user-driven, user-inspired research. In disability and entrepreneurship, we will, for example, what does it mean in practice is this. We are going to have a stakeholder workshop at the beginning, at the outset of the project, whereby we will bring together disabled entrepreneurs, government people, local NGOs, whomever is involved and making decisions about these people, and different institutions like media, financial institutions, etc., even to formulate the research questions. And then we will, of course, interview them and focus groups. We do mostly qualitative research. Sometimes there are people in our teams that we bring in that do the quantitative side if the research problem necessitates a mixed method approach, but mostly qualitative work we do. On a very final note, I keep saying final, but I don't stop. This is how I am like. Okay, very final note. Just to tell you about the impact, I'm leading a project right now, which is the biggest project that I have. It's on female leadership in arts and creative industries. Art and creative industries related work dates back to my PhD, because I did my PhD, as I said, on entrepreneurial learning experience of art and design students, and I did teach to them for a few years in Winchester School of Art. Now we are working with, it's a multi-partner interdisciplinary project. It's a consortium of a project led by a practitioner organization. It's called The Point. It's a theater in Eastleigh, in our local place, which is very close to our houses, in fact, in Chandler's Fort, and which we used to take our children to as they were growing up over the years. And The Point, in collaboration with a number of other art and diversity organizations, and of course the University of Southampton, and the project is led by myself, and we have another colleague, a co-investigator, Yehuda Baruch, Professor Yehuda Baruch, and we are looking at how we can make 16 women associates, female leaders, potential leaders, coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, lower social class, educational background, perhaps ethnicity. Gender is the biggest disadvantage in that sector anyhow. So how they make their way up to become inclusive, tuned-in leaders, okay? So this is a very impactful project, and I'm writing the evaluation framework right now. This is about, this is funded by the Arts Council England, by the way. Oh, okay, I tend to forget about that. That's because that's last funding that I have from UKRI. This is the Arts Council funding. Our children are leaving for school, so we are waving them at the same time as I came with my son at 6:30 this morning. It's still early in the morning.
Excuse me, Professor Mina.
Yeah.
I've got requested from Dr. Sony. He is the counselor expert staff for Global Partnership Program. Maybe he will mention the point, or has the point related the topic that you have delivered for us. Pak Sony, can you hear me? Oh, maybe there is still a problem with Pak Sony, but he requested to have a question for Professor Mina.
Sure,
okay,
sure. Can take questions.
When we waiting, is that okay if I interrupt you and we moving on the Q&A session?
Of course, by all means, you are the chair of the meeting.
All right.
Of course.
Okay then. So while we waiting, Pak Sony, we moving on the Q&A session. I would give the opportunity for the participant. If some of you have a question, please you can ask to Professor Mina or Dr. Sanas. Pak Heri or Pak Rahman? Dr. Heri Toiba, the head of Department of Agribusiness.
Okay, thank you, Pak Junedi. It is my pleasure to welcome to Dr. Main and Dr. Sanas. We are so excited to have both of you all here to participate in our sharing session international collaboration initiative organized by Faculty of Agriculture. I think this is a very sexy topic in terms of research, because we know in Indonesia we are growing in social entrepreneur, especially for young student. So I think it's very interesting research topic for our young lecturer in our department. I mentioned before with Dr. Juwaida, Dr. Shanas, and Dr. Main, we have more than 20 young lecturer in our department who are looking for the school to PhD program. I would like to thank if you are welcome to become a candidate supervisor for our young student, our young lecturer. Probably, but Novi maybe can ask to Dr. Main to maybe collaborate or become a candidate supervisor for Mbak Novi, because I think it's a very, very interesting issue in terms of research. Because you know, in Indonesia we still have a view research in this issue. So if our staff could conduct research about this issue with your supervising, I think is very, very good for our department to increase to improve our capability and our quality in our faculty. I think it's good in the future, Pak Junaidi, we invite to Sanas, Dr. Sanas and Dr. Main to become like keynote speaker in our international conference. I think in the next years, because actually we plan in this year, but because of pandemic, we cancel the event. So I think in the next year we can invite more probably Dr. Main to become the keynote speaker in Indonesia and visit our country and probably discuss about probably have a good future collaboration in terms of research, exchange student, as well as place for doctoral student for our staff. Dr. Main and Dr. Sanas, our intra-research, our staff is diverse from agribusiness policy, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. Even though this is a few, our staff is focused on this issue. But after here the the even, I think some of our young lecturer probably interest in this issue. If you would like to make rich collaboration, we are very welcome. So I think that's all, Pak Junaidi. Probably Pak Jarwo give or Pak Sony give
So
any question or.
Junaidi?
Sorry,
Respond,
Professor
can
Mina?
I respond? Can
Yes,
I respond?
yes. All right, then you can respond it.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored. Thank you so much for inviting me to contribute to your conferences. I will be delighted to do so. I'm very happy to collaborate with you. And of course, we would be delighted to visit your country once all this pandemic is over. Let's hope that we will stay healthy and well, all of us. That's the most important thing. Once this is over, which I will believe one way or another will be, then of course we would be delighted to visit Indonesia and Malaysia and all the respective countries that you are collaborating in. So thank you so much. I'm honored.
All right, thank you, Professor Mina. Dr. Sanas, you want to add something?
No, we were. It's the same. Like we are very honored for that invite and for considering us, and it will be great to come and visit. And also regarding the PhD students, we can also always share with you the process of application, so that students can prepare a proposal on social entrepreneurship or anything that related to the areas that we talked about, and they can send their proposal if they are interested, and we can guide them through the application process and share with them the requirements and all these things. And it will be great to have students, of course, from Indonesia doing social entrepreneurship. It will be like a new country for us to look at how social entrepreneurship is executed and is operated over there. We have, as Mina mentioned before, someone in Tanzania, and she supervised before people also social entrepreneurship students in Vietnam. Was it Vietnam, Hien? Yeah, so it's interesting to see also like different perspective. I think it will have impact for research and policy as well. So yes, so we thank you so much for.
Can I just add
that.
something to that, Shehnaz? This
Okay,
is really
no problem.
This is really great because just reminded me both points that Shehnaz made. Just to elaborate, just to add something, reinforce Shehnaz's point, is that if you would like us, which I think is really very important, we can run a session with your prospective PhD candidates, with your colleagues, about, as Shehnaz said, how to prepare a PhD proposal, what the process is like, so they are better. They are better prepared. So we can run 1 or 2 sessions like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And also share some paperwork, things like that, examples of good proposals, so to speak. That's one thing. And definitely a social entrepreneurship project. We would be interested in Indonesian context. You can collect data for us from your context with the collaborators. We can shape some of the methodological research design side of things. Unless we are kind of like, if we can keep the research team up to maximum 4 or 5 people at different times in different kind of like scales, we should be able to manage that. And of course, we will all be, depending on the contribution that people will make to the research and to the write-up of the papers, we can be co-authors.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a good chance.
Please, if it is okay for Dr. Shahnaz Ibrahim and Dr. Mina, I would like to ask you, do you have a doctoral scholarship in University of Southampton? That is my first question. And my second question is, are you sometimes doing a project that needs help from students so that we can apply for a PhD student under your project? Do you have a call for a project like that? Thank you very much.
I think that for the thank you for your question. For the doctoral scholarships, we used to have, but I think because of the COVID situation and things, so we don't have this year, but we used to have like a few scholarships for really strong candidates. I personally, I got a scholarship from the universities, but that was 2010 for doing my PhD. So I got it from the university, and of course I was supported by Professor Mina because she looked at the proposal and the profile, and she was interested, and she felt that okay, these students can have this scholarship. So each year almost we used to have, but this year we don't have any scholarships, PhD scholarships.
That's right. I mean, UK universities are also financially constrained these days. I mean, as we know, for all those kind of like reasons that apply to all of us, we become a slave. The entire world has become a slave of a pandemic, of a virus. So there we are. But I mean, because this has created different kinds of crises other than the public health crisis. However, having said that, as to the second part of your question, Dr. Haryati,
do you hire a PhD student candidate?
Pardon? Pardon?
Do you hire? I mean, do you have
I remember. No. I remember your question. That's why I was going to respond to that. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for asking that. It's a good question. yeah, we do sometimes develop, when we develop funded projects, we do sometimes.
Oh.
We have a very cute visitor.
Sorry,
Yeah.
because my son just wake up and he look for his mom, but his mom is in the office. So I'm taking
Yes.
care.
So
Yes.
how old is he?
Yeah.
How old is he, Dr. Junaidi? How old is he?
3 years, 2
Oh,
months.
So
Yeah.
cute. He's
Terrific
so
age.
cute.
I have a son,
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
I
So
can
cute.
relate to that. Yes, it's
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Lovely, lovely,
Lovely,
beautiful. Yeah.
lovely.
Thank you very much.
Mashallah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, we do sometimes have projects that we embed PhD studentship, or sometimes, for example, we do kind of like have some elements of the research, like doing the interviews, transcription, or doing the data analysis. We put some money into research assistants, and we do employ some of our existing PhD students on the projects. If I'm understanding your question correctly, these are usually for our internal PhD students. This is how it works in the system. Unless you have a project that you build PhD scholarship into it, like these international funded projects, then you employ someone from outside. For example, that's what we did with Shehnaz for our sustainable tourism entrepreneurship project.
Yeah.
We didn't employ a PhD student, but we employed a postdoc. So there was a colleague from Turkey, from Izmir, in fact, where there was the earthquake recently, unfortunately. So he became a postdoc, a research fellow on our project, because we had the research assistants in the British Council Newton Fund Institutional Links project that I led on sustainable tourism entrepreneurship. But it's very rare that we have this. It's either very small amount of money that we can't really employ someone from outside the university because all these visa fees and traveling costs and this and that, it doesn't work like that. And it's mostly because of that. And it's also the first priority, because of increasing the employment here in the UK in terms of visa requirements, etc., is with the people who are already either the British citizens, or it used to be the EU, that's going to be not anymore after Brexit, but and it's also the kind of like the internal capacity that we need to use. And of course, we also want our PhD students to develop different research strengths, get opportunities in terms of different research projects, meet different people. So that is our priority. In terms of funding, we are very constrained.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be very upfront and honest about it. We can't really do anything at the moment, neither PhD scholarships nor PhD student assistance or research assistance, unless we get funded by an external organization, UKRI or an international organization, and we have an element of funding built into that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Novi. Now I would like to give an opportunity for other participants. If you have any questions.
Mr. Junaidi.
All right.
I can ask something.
Okay, Bu Parisa.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shanas and Dr. Mina. I'm Arisa, as the lecturer of Agriculture Faculty. I'm also International Relation Officer of Agriculture Faculty. And I want to ask you, there is any possibility to cooperation or collaboration for the student movement, both inbound or outbound during this pandemic? Because Brawijaya University have a policy to not have activities to do travel abroad.
Yeah. No, there is very strict restrictions now in the UK, and even like we currently are in lockdown. We will start the lockdown on Thursday. So there is no because of the pandemic, but probably after that there could be some opportunities. But now we don't.
Even yesterday, the Vice Chancellor sent us an email after the government's announcements on Saturday that we will be entering a national full lockdown again as of Thursday. We received an email from Vice Chancellor that is informing us. We also received an email from Vice Chancellor that he sent to our students is that we are not allowing our students who are, let's say, in Southampton at the moment, away from their families, to even travel back to their home. Everybody has to stay where they are.
Yes.
No travel within the country even whatsoever, let alone international exchanges. We're not allowing that at all because, you know, the cases are high. We become tier 4 again. The number of deaths are high. Unfortunately, the health system is not able to afford that. And yeah, we have to, and the full lockdown is until 4th of December, they said.
Yes.
But we both think that it will be
extended
until Christmas,
yeah.
at least.
But the good side is that we got to know each other, and maybe when this is over, you can just email us again at some point and we can discuss these opportunities in the future. So I think Dr. Muhammad has our, I'll share with him our emails and everything, so we can be in touch with each other regarding any of these like physical traveling, exchanging, and all these sorts of things. So hopefully soon, as Mina was saying, like, yeah, it will end at some point.
Inshallah. But I think the most important thing is, as Shehnaz said, and I think we should really concentrate on what we have right now. There is a huge opportunity for online collaboration,
Yes.
which is in fact logistically, like we are doing today, thank you, like we are doing today, is kind of like working quite well. I mean, of course, it doesn't replace, it doesn't substitute the kind of like the face-to-face interactions, and particularly from our cultures, we know how these things work, etc. And hopefully we will one day get together and probably have international exchanges and things like that. But why don't we use this as an opportunity to run some sessions together? Whatever you are interested in. I mean, we can do the PhD training thing, and
yes.
Also different aspects of project writing, for example. I can share with you some of my proposals and I can take you through some of those. So those sorts of things. Not that we have so much time,
yeah,
but we would like to collaborate with you, and we would like to share some of experience, and we would like to learn from you as well, because every one of us, being in different countries, being in different settings, once we interact with each other, there is a huge opportunity for us to, for example, we are really interested in learning about sustainability and social entrepreneurship in Indonesia,
yes,
which we've
definitely.
never done, for example.
Yeah.
If we develop a common interest on that, we can then start accepting PhD students in that area. If not this year, definitely for me, because I have 4 PhD students who are in their final year, and a couple of others who are in their second and third years, and I'm not accepting any PhD students this year. But these relationships build over the time, and there is a process anyhow, as Shehnaz said. If we kind of like work with some of your colleagues throughout that process, maybe shape some ideas for projects that are of interest to you as well as us, then they can put their applications in due course. Next year, I mean, if you have funding from your countries, your university is great, because we, as we said, we don't from PhD side, but we can develop other international projects which might have some funding for other activities.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Dr.
Okay, I would give an opportunity for Dr. Mangku. Hello, Dr. Mangku, are you still there?
Yes.
All right. If you have
I just feel the cost, so I have no questions. Okay.
Right. Thank you. Other participant who want to have any question for Professor Mina and Dr. Sanas? As okay, just for the info, Professor Mina, Dr. Sanas already joined in our program, which is international collaboration. She delivered international guest lecturer 3 times for our student, and I think that's a good start if you want to make further collaboration.
Yes, Shehnaz mentioned it to me, and
Yeah.
she's enjoying it. We've
I
been
enjoyed it
discussing
very
it
much, yeah.
from the very beginning, and she kindly invited me to this session. I was very delighted to come along and
It's
join
an
you.
honor to have Dr. Mina. Like, she's a
Thank you so
very
much.
busy and important person at the university. So it's one of the top people at the university who always kindly shares her experience and shares her knowledge with everyone. So thanks so much for her time as well. Like, this
Thank
is
you so much, Yenra.
she came here like 6:30 in the morning UK time in order to be together, and yeah, so it was a lovely start of the day, of course, with her and with you as well.
Thank you
for
so much.
us. But,
I really
yeah.
enjoyed it. Thank you so much, everyone, for inviting me. Thank you, Shehnaz. Not the important bit, but I agree that I'm a busy woman. So it's really it's a kind of like a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to meet new colleagues like yourselves within that busy schedule, get to know you, get to do interesting things. I always have my heart in international collaborations. I always want to learn from new colleagues, from new environments, and Indonesia is such an environment for us. So yeah, I'm delighted. I mean, I'll leave it to you to think about what we can do together. And Shehnaz is already a mutual colleague to us. She will lead that exchange. She will lead that collaboration. And once you have some ideas, in addition to that, what we have suggested already, if you would like to involve me, just let me know. If I am, in terms of time constraints, of course, if I would be delighted to all the time. But if I have time that fits your schedule, then I would be happy to join and deliver sessions for you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that during this session, all of us have obtained a fruitful discussion. In this event, we have learned a lot from the amazing keynote speaker who are sharing very interactive and interesting topic about initiating the international collaboration. For example, between University of Brawijaya and maybe in the future with the University of Southampton, and also from University Putra Malaysia. On behalf of committee, I would like to thank all speakers and participants who have joined this discussion. Thank you for delivering such important material so that all of us can deepen our knowledge about the topic discussed. Finally, I would like to thank all the committee members for organizing this discussion. And I would also like to apologize for any inconvenience that you might experience during this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying in bahasa Indonesia, ada perjumpaan, maka ada perpisahan, which means when there is a meeting, then there will be goodbye. So I thank you once again for your participation, and I do also hope that we can meet again in another collaboration event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you, Dr. Sanas, Dr. Juwaida, Dr. Main. See you next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
We'll still keep in touch.
Definitely we will. Definitely we will.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, so the MC of today, I would like to say thank you very much for everyone. We appreciate your being here. We do hope that this webinar would be the first step to future collaboration between University of Brawijaya with University of Southampton and University of Putra Malaysia. We would like to say thank you to all guest speakers, Dr. Juwaida Syarifuddin, Dr. Shahnaz Ibrahim, Professor Mina Karatas Oskan, and also committee who worked hard to make this event ready, and of course the participant who has spared the time in this webinar. I hope that this webinar will be benefited to you, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye.
Thank you for organizing it.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Selamat datang di Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya. Fakultas ini memiliki 4 jurusan, yaitu jurusan Tanah. Bidang kajian di jurusan Tanah memfokuskan kelestarian lingkungan menuju terciptanya sistem pertanian yang berlanjut, manajemen kesuburan tanah dan ketersediaan sumber daya air bagi tanaman, serta manajemen sumber daya alam termasuk agroforestry dengan pendekatan ekologi ekonomi yang seimbang. Jurusan Budidaya Pertanian.
Halo Bu Novi, saya Liv ya.
Budidaya pertanian
Ya Pak,
mempelajari
terima
dan
kasih.
menerapkan cara-cara
Makasih banyak ya, nanti kita diskusi lanjut ya.
serta perbaikan teknik budidaya
Oke,
tanaman
Assalamualaikum.
secara berkelanjutan.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Aspek yang dikaji yaitu
Mas Edo, terima kasih Mas Edo, sudah dibantu semuanya.
Fisiologi tanaman, penampilan fisik tanaman, dan kondisi iklim mikro dan makro di sekitar lingkungan tanaman. Jurusan hama dan penyakit tumbuhan. Arah pengembangan keilmuan di jurusan HPT yaitu mengkombinasikan IPM, ICM, dan ISM untuk mewujudkan sistem pertanian berlanjut. Selain itu, jurusan hama dan penyakit tumbuhan juga mendukung program nasional Go Organik untuk menghasilkan produk pertanian sehat yang bebas bahan kimia sintetik berbahaya. Jurusan sosial ekonomi. Fokus bidang ilmunya yaitu analisa perkembangan ekonomi pertanian nasional dan dunia literasi keuangan, pemasaran, dan analisa perilaku konsumen. Interaksi sosial dengan masyarakat pedesaan serta komunikasi efektif dengan pelaku agribisnis untuk mengembangkan pertanian yang berkelanjutan. Serta pasca sarjana. Kurikulum di pasca sarjana didesain khusus dengan kombinasi keilmuan berbasis kompetensi teori maupun terapan, sehingga sangat sesuai dengan kebutuhan para akademisi maupun para praktisi di sektor publik dan bisnis. Sejak didirikan pada tahun 1960, saat ini Fakultas Pertanian memiliki 11 program studi, dengan sebagian besar terakreditasi A oleh BAN PT, dan program studi di sarjana yang telah tersertifikasi AUN-QIA. Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Brawijaya memiliki 15 pusat kajian, 2 jurnal terindeks Scopus, 20 laboratorium keilmuan,